and how you learn how to drive. The first thing I need you to do is stay calm. I think in the beginning, you're going to be very nervous when you get out and drive a car. You're going to have a lot of adrenaline, you're going to have a lot of nervousness, a lot of fear, and a lot of anxiety. You're literally going to be squeezing the wheel really hard. So what I need you to do is try to relax to the best of your ability and really focus on listening to the instructor. Next, be aware of cars' blind spots. There are 4 blind spots. There's the left side of the car, the right side of the car, in front of the car, and behind the car. You literally have to look over your shoulder. This is my left. This is my right. You literally have to look over your shoulder when you check blind spots. If you don't, you can end up cutting off a car. Next, use your mirrors, turn your head to verify that the space is actually clear. You have a total of 3 mirrors. You have one inside the car, you have one to your left, and one to your right. Those mirrors will help reduce, hey, how are you? Those mirrors will help reduce some of the things that you can't see. So you have to have those adjusted properly. If you're just joining in, we're talking about how you drive a car and then how you pass your test. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in. Always obey the traffic laws. They're there for a reason. This weekend, I was driving in a school zone area. The speed limit was 35. Then it was 25. And at the end of the area, there's a police station. So needless to say, a lot of people speed. I'm doing great. Thank you. I'm doing pretty good too. Trying to give some good information. Hopefully you subscribe. Hopefully you follow. Leave some comments. I'm really trying to put out some really good content on driving and how to feel safe and secure. So I really appreciate everything that you say. And if you have any things, just go ahead and put them in. So the driving laws are there for a reason. If the speed limit is 35, it's 35. It's set because you have kids, you have smaller traffic. If it's 15, it's set because there's pedestrians. You want to keep your eyes on your fuel gauge and know when to refuel and not run out of gas. Example, I made it into the lab this morning. I barely made it. My gas gauge was in the red. So this tells me I'm about to run out of gas. So I barely got to the lab. I got in, I got it done. And then after the session's over, I'm gonna have to go straight to the gas station. If not, my car will cut off and I don't wanna damage my fuel pump, which is inside the car. So you wanna make sure you have gasoline, and because sometimes the gas gauges are incorrect. So you don't wanna run out of gas. You wanna make sure you have at least 1/4 of a tank of gas. And usually people in the morning, they put gas in, or at night before they come home. So I didn't do either, so I tried to gamble and get to school. So I did make it. Next, use caution when driving at dawn or dusk. There are deer out, there are people jogging. You really have to be aware. You need to clean your windshield. You need to clean your side mirrors so you can see. I want you to keep a cool head in stressful situations. I have some really important surveys on the channel that I want you to look at. Every time I take my students out, any instructor around the world, we become a target because people want to harass us, mess with us. They want you to crash. They want us to make mistakes. So the sign is on the driver's ed car for a reason. Student driver. This means if you're a regular driver, leave us alone. We're going to stop in the middle of the street. We're going to turn on the wrong blinker. We might go left, but they might go right. I only have a brake in the car and a mirror. So give us room and time. Typically, a lot of older drivers mess with us. Younger drivers, teenagers, beginning drivers are mean people in general. So if you're one of those mean people, don't be mean and mess with us. That's really not fair because you're causing a lot of stress and anxiety. Avoid distractions from passengers. Loud music. If your friends are loud in the car, tell them stop. You're talking too loud. I'm trying to focus on driving. It's hard enough for a beginner to focus on driving. Next, avoid hazards. A hazard could be you're driving in a school zone. There are kids walking left, walking right. After school, that is the most dangerous time, 3 to 5 p.m. It's the most dangerous time across the United States. Most schools are getting out. You have young, inexperienced drivers who are driving 30, 40, 50 through a parking lot, who are blowing yield signs, blowing stop signs, and what's going to happen? You're going to have someone get killed. So that age group, 15 to 25, 16 to 26, 17 to 27, that age group, it takes about 10 years to learn how to drive. And there's been research that your brain does not fully develop until you are 25 years old. So you have a lot going on, and it's really important. Medical problems are serious. If you have a medical condition, you might have to have a special permit or an examination. Maybe you have seizures. Maybe you have tremors. I've driven students like that, and they did meet the requirement, but it might be a restricted drive. On my license application, it says any medical problems other than vision. Migraines might count. You might have to talk to your doctor because migraines are a really intense pain in your brain. So talk to your doctor. If your migraines are that powerful and you can't focus, talk to your doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I am a driver's education instructor. I have driven students that have had medical issues before. So I would say talk to your doctor. Usually the company does research. You might have to have a written piece of paper from your doctor. And then after that, we're good, because people, that's okay. Be aware of emergency vehicles. We were driving and there was a police situation. My driver did not know what to do. Whenever you see an ambulance, a police car, any type of emergency vehicle, you're welcome. Get over to the side of the road. In fact, an elderly lady almost rear-ended me yesterday. There was an ambulance coming. They were circumventing traffic. The speed limit was 50. I slowed down very slowly. She was coming out of McDonald's. I saw her from my right, my peripheral vision. She came out right. She was honking her horn as I was slowing down. She almost hit me from the right, and then she was behind me. And I said to myself, don't you see that ambulance? So she almost rear-ended me, but I had to take a step back and check myself. This is an elderly lady, no hate, but she didn't see the ambulance. And I'm not going to get a ticket or get injured, but she almost rear-ended me. So you got to be aware of these situations, because you might not see an ambulance and their car stopped or pulling over to the right, okay? You got to keep your cool. Okay, when you're driving, because people will try to set you off. They'll cut you off. They'll cut in front of you. So you want to stay calm. You want to take your time, and you want to be peaceful in the situation. You want to pay attention to the traffic flow. Here's another tip I need to give you. A lot of beginners go 10 under the limit, 15 under. If the speed limit is 35, we're at 25. We're at 20. So literally, we're driving along, 10 under the limit. Here's another car, and another car, and another car. And people get lit, and then they get angry, and then they tailgate us, and then they cut us off. You don't see this. I do as your instructor. And my job is to keep you calm, but also I don't want someone to road rage on us. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is real. And I need you, if this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. I see 7 people on, give it a thumbs up. So my job is to keep you safe, keep us safe, and not allow a situation where people will road rage, because people are very impatient, right? Bree, you do have me. I'm your virtual instructor. I'm like your uncle. I'm your older brother. You can ask me questions. I can give you support. And I love driver's education. Talk about what you know. I talk about driver's education because I've been doing it over 24 years, and it's been very fulfilling. So anything I can do to help you, it's a different type of animal today. People road rage. They're impatient. You got a lot of young drivers with really fast cars, Mustangs, Hellcats, Trackhawks, Raptors, big vehicles that go really fast, and a lot of people are driving 15, 20, 30 over the limit, and they end up killing pedestrians because cars are so powerful. I'm not blaming it on cars. I'm a car enthusiast myself. I have a beautiful Gen 1 Camaro that's straight for the track only, not on the street. So people have very powerful cars. You have young guys, young ladies, 22, 23, buying Hellcats, buying Chargers, buying beautiful cars, and they're 700, 800, 900 horsepower. You put a pulley and some drag radials, you almost had 1,000 horsepower, and you can drive 150 on the road. But little do we know, the speed limit is 55. And people are driving twice the speed limit. A pedestrian walks out in the street with headphones on, you know what's going to happen. The pedestrian's going to be killed. And do you have a young person who is in jail for 20 years for manslaughter, or let alone 10 years, and now the family says, except this weekend when we were doing driver's ed lessons, we saw an accident. A car ran a light and got hit. Luckily, everyone was okay, but it's just a reminder, if you take driving in a casual way, you're going to end up killing yourself or hurting someone. And that's the thing I'm trying to teach all of you. As beginning drivers, you don't know you're in danger. I'm just going to go through this yellow light. There's a car coming that can't stop. I'm going to run this red light. There's a person driving really fast in a Trackhawk or a Hellcat or a Mustang or a Ford Cobra, and they're flying and they hit us. And as a result, you get the ticket because you ran the light. All of these things could have been avoided. You got to remember, I'm teaching people who do not know how to drive. They're scary. They're gripping the wheel so hard, and I try to turn the wheel and they get superhuman strength. And I'm trying not to have us crash. So it's so important that all of you listen to this, you give it a thumbs up, and then you watch it, because I'm really trying to, all instructors go through this. They just don't tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. It takes a really patient person, a really caring person, to teach adults and teens how to drive, because a lot of people think they know how to drive and they don't. And that's when innocent people get killed. Excuse me, I was emotional for a second. You got to pay attention to the flow. People driving a little bit faster, you might have to pick up a little bit. Someone left a comment about driving in Los Angeles. They go a little bit faster. You got to pick up a little bit. Or they might go a little bit slower in Kansas, or in Houston, Texas, or in Detroit. You've got to keep up with the flow. And if you don't feel comfortable, you get over to the right lane. Okay, we're in North America. We drive on the right side of the road. Some of my brothers and sisters who listen to this, the UK, Africa, India, I'm blessed, and I read those comments, but we're trying to promote safe driving. And that's what I'm trying to communicate to all of you. You have to develop your safe driving, defensive driving mentality. If you get comfortable running lights, you're going to hit a pedestrian. You're going to hit a car. You're going to get a ticket. If you get comfortable driving 10 over the limit, 12 over the limit, 15 over the limit, you're going to end up getting tickets. You might rear end a car. So that's where that defensive driving comes in. And if you want to drive fast and you want to burn rubber on tires, go to a sanctioned drag strip where you have to have a helmet and a seatbelt. You sign a waiver saying that if I crash, I can't sue the drag strip, I can't sue the state I'm in, and that's you. Okay? Driving aggressive on the street, racing on the street, no. They will take your car, okay? You will get your car impounded, and that's something you don't want to do. Reduce speed when approaching curves. A lot of people go really fast on curves, and beginning drivers, because you're new, you go into the curve about 50, and what happens, the car goes straight off the road. So as an instructor, I'm trying to turn the wheel a little bit so we don't crash. You're gripping the wheel really hard. We literally go off the road. I've been in the ditch 4 or 5 times. And it's very scary. Why? Because the driver is just so nervous. They're going too fast. They hug the shoulder of the road. And once you hit that soft shoulder, the car goes in. And if you overcorrect, you're rolling the car. Okay? And accidents have happened like that. I need you to keep your car in proper operating condition. It's really easy for me to say, yeah, you're an instructor. You got a job. You need to make sure you have good tires on your car. You need to make sure you have good brakes so you can stop. Your windshield wipers work. Your headlights and tail lights work. If you don't like working on cars, I love working on cars. Okay? I got a race car at home. I'm going to make some content on that. I love working on cars, but a lot of you, I don't want to take it to a shop. Let them work on it. You know, see if they have the proper state credentials. The shop is clean. Guys, I have to go. I will talk to you later. Give it a thumbs up. Bye.